How's it going, everybody? Today's video is all about steering angle. So how would we determine the added benefit of a modification? First of all, we need to have a baseline. So I'm going to measure the stock steering angle of my car to see what it's at. I put some tape down on the floor to figure out center, and then we'll measure angle off of that.
Bringing the car to full lock, it measured in at 34 to 37 degrees of angle. I'm giving a 3-degree margin of error because it can squeak out more travel when the steering pump is running, and my measuring tools are kind of basic. Step number 1, inner tie rod steering rack spacers. These spacers slide onto the male threads of the inner tie rods and extend the amount of steering rack travel. Raise and support the car with jack stands, remove the rack boots to access the tie rods, bend back the lock plates with a chisel. Remove the tie rods with an adjustable wrench and some force. I used a hammer on the wrench. Slide on the new rack spacer and be sure to use thread locker when you reinstall. Thread it back in and then torque it down. Repeat all this on the other side. Anytime you do a steering modification, it's suggested to go get an alignment. Adding in a rack spacer will increase the amount of toe you have until you make a toe adjustment. As you can see, the spacers allow the steering rack to travel further before the rack gets stopped by the inner tie rod end.
So now that we have the steering rack spacer in, let's take a measurement to see how much angle it's actually given us.
The spacers gave me an additional 8 to 10 degrees of angle, measuring in at 42 to 45 degrees of total angle. The stock S13 and 14 inner tie rod ends don't have enough threads. So that's why we're going to have to do step 2. Step number 2, replacing the stock inner and outer tie rod ends with upgraded versions. In addition to getting more steering angle, this was a worthwhile upgrade for me. My inner tie rods were pretty loose and my outer tie rod boots were cracked. Remove the cotter pin and the 19mm castle nut. If you don't have a tie rod tool, I found the best way to remove it was heat. I used a small torch to heat up the taper and the knuckle and then hit it out with a hammer. If you have any hopes of reusing the outer tie rod, be sure to put a nut on the end of the threads so you don't smush them. With the inner and outer tie rod end removed, it's time to go to step 3, grinding down the knuckle bump stop. You can grind it down with an angle grinder and a grinding disc, or if you have a small sander that'll fit in there to grind it flat. Remove the old inner tie rod the same way as we did in step number 1. And be sure to use thread locker on the new threads. Thread the new inner tie rod into the rack. And then reuse your dust boot if it's in good condition or replace it with a fresh one. Then I installed the new Tane outer tie rod end. Thread in the inner tie rod and secure it with a jam nut. It helps to measure the old tie rod assembly, outer and inner, and get your new setup close to the same length. However, after this, get an alignment.
So now that we've ground down the bump stop on the knuckle, let's take another measurement to see how much angle we've gained from doing that modification.
I measured 44 to 47 degrees of steering angle, which is a 1 to 3 degree gain. Rack spacers will run you anywhere from a couple bucks to $60, and tie rod, inner and outers, can end up being anywhere from $120 to $160.
I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it, because I learned a lot in making it. If you have some steering modification tips, tricks, or things that you've learned from doing it yourself, put it in the comments below and let me know. Catch you next time.